Hi, welcome back again and welcome to Robin's Quest. We've got Alan's been making me this. It's for a slitting saw, arbour for a slitting saw. And there is a little problem with it, but hopefully we can get over that. He's had this between centres, and now what we're doing is making a nut, which is actually over there in the lathe at the moment. I've brought it out, ready to start making it. So we need to cut some threads. So we're making a nut. I'm going to cut some internal threads fit this, and it's going to have a collar on it as well, so the slitting saw will go between here and the collar on the nut will trap the slitting saw, and away we go. I've been on the surface grinder this morning, and an old carbide drill. A friend of mine gives me carbide old drills and things which he breaks on his CNC machines quite regular. So I made a jig up this morning. This is 60 degrees, so that's gone on my boring bar. So hopefully this is going to go and cut the thread. How do we get to the thread? Well, it's a UNF thread. It's 7/8 and it's 14 threads per inch. So how deep do we want to be? Well, the technique I use, and I don't know where I've got it from, but it works, is 1/14. So 1 is 14 threads per inch. So in the calculator goes 1 divided by 14 threads per inch equals, that gives us 0.071428571. Now what I do then is divide that by 1.5, and that gives me 0.047619048. So 47 thousandths of an inch, or 47.6, so 48 thousandths of an inch. So that tool is going to go in and cut that thread. Right the way around. Nothing wants to work, does it? 47 thousandths of an inch. So we'll go in about 50,000. So we'll get set up. Everything's falling on the floor. We'll get set up on the lathe. This is a Zeus book, by the way. That's where I've got my threads from. Also, I've got the MSC Industrial Suppliers. There's a big wall chart here which has got all the threads on here, 14 threads per inch, the thread depth and so on and so forth, and the drill bit we need to use. Same with the Zeus books, exactly the same. And I've also been into the Machiner's Handbooks. I have got a tap, but these are years older from my dad, and I don't know, they're probably as old as me, if not more, and I can't see on here what size it is. I've cleaned it, I've had my magnifying glass on, but I just can't see. It looks about right. I've had a bit of a measure around the threads, but I'm not confident, so we will try it afterwards and see if it does fit. I've got plenty of, I think it's BSWs, what seem about the right size, but they're not. They're slightly different, so scrap that idea. So that's the plan. Let's go make some threads. Get over there on the lathe. Right, here we go. I've made a scratch pass and just measured the threads. 14 threads per inch with a thread gauge, and in we go. Zero on the cross slide, and we keep pulling it back on the compound. So we've got another 5 thou. Any number, any like, it's an even number on our thread gauge. Once it pops out the back, we can stop. Out of gear. We'll clear the work with the cross slide. I'm going to 90 thou on it because there's not a lot of room between the tool. Then we can wind back. We don't want to be catching the end of the tool because if we do, we'll be in a bit of trouble. Cross slide to 0. Oops. Making sure we're keeping all the slop out of it, and we'll go in another 5. And that's just 5 thou at a time. With threading, you don't be rushing it. If you're doing it all the time, you just get used to it. But it's not something I do all the time. So I normally have the airline over and just keep blowing it out. And the airline's the other side of the workshop. Back the tool out, out it comes. The 5 thou, looking good. Back to 0 on the cross slide, and another 5 thou on the compound. Perfect. I just want to take a little bit out this front with another boring bar, just to make a collar on the front, so it just goes over this part here. Just going to make a little collar on it. Okay then, well we're back on it. This is the arbour. This is the part we cut the threads in, and it's turned out really well. But the only problem we've got is Alan made this arbour between the centres for me in his lathe, and he just didn't get around to doing this bit. And it just went in a slight little bit deep there with a parting off tool, and well, what we're going to try and do is salvage the part really, because what happens when you put the saw on, slitting saw on, it just causes a little bit of movement. I mean, if you had a thick slitting saw it'd be fine, but because got on about, I think it's 1/32, it moves around. So what I've done is I parted off a little bit off that. I made the recess in that slightly bigger, and I'm going to put this on the surface grinder. That's going to go on there like that. It's got a little collar at the minute, and then this will screw up behind it, and the parting blade, the slitting saw, sorry, will be here, more or further up the arbour, so therefore it will, you know, sit comfortably on that centre. So that will just squeeze up and trap the saw. That's the idea, and that will be behind the blade. So see, it all fits quite well, and it's quite a long harbour, so for getting in places with a slitting saw, it'll be great. We'll show you it all together when we get done. So it's over to the surface grinder. I'm going to strap that down, and I'm just going to skim that off. Not quite sure what it is at the moment. I'll have a quick look. The outer side is 62,000, so probably it's going down to 50,000, something like that. Millimetre, just less, a bit more than a millimetre. Right, over to the surface grinder. This is a setup I had. Let's get the light on. This is a setup I had to put the angle, the 60-degree angle, on the threading tool you saw. I had a carbide drill bit that was broken. I get quite a few of them. So we put it in there, we lifted the vise up at 30 degrees one side, and I put a flat on one side of it. So when it sits in the V here, the flat's on this side, so that means we're 180 degrees either way. Turn it over 30 degrees, and then you get a perfect threading tool to go in a internal threading bar. Saves me buying them, and you know, they're for free. I've got a surface grinder. These diamond discs are less than a tenner. I had this one of the small one, what I use for making milling cutters, sharpening milling cutters rather. And this setup works really well. I know it's a little bit high, but it works perfect. Okay. Right, over on the Jones and Shitten 540, and so we can take a thou or two off it. It's a diamond in there. Normally I don't run diamonds for flat grinding, I just use it for tool grinding really, carbide, but it's in and it'll not do any harm. We'll just put the vacuum cleaner, oh mind, we don't need the vacuum cleaner. It's got a hoover here, but there's not going to be any dust. Try another thou. Once we get it nice and flat, it'll be fine. It's not a fast job, this surface grinding, malarkey, but it's accurate. We'll take 2 thou this time, see what it says.